side stage interview with the victorious jungler, so let's hand it off to Dom Roma for the interview.
Thanks, guys. I am joined by Inori. First of all, congratulations on that win, a 2-1, your second victory for Phoenix One. Climbing the ranks, how does it feel?
It feels pretty good. You know, like, we kind of said, like, this is our new split because it's, like, halfway through. So to start 2-0, it actually feels so good for us.
Yeah, and to talk a little bit more about this, like, new split sort of mentality, obviously you weren't on the roster for the first few weeks, and you had to sit back and watch Phoenix One go through these struggles. What's that been like for you, knowing that you could practice with the team, but you just couldn't play with them?
Like, it was actually really hard. Like, I really wanted to play. Like, we were going to, like, week 2 thinking I was going to play. But then, like, a bunch of stuff happened. I had to watch, like, our sub-jungler play. It was Sentinel. I tried to teach him as much as I could, but it was, like, his new split, so it didn't turn out too well. I'm just glad we were able to get our Via's problem sorted out. I'm just sad it happened late, but I hope we can restart this split.
Yeah, well, you're off to a good start so far. Obviously, the victory last week against Apex, and now against Echo Fox. Well, you're playing against, I believe, CLG coming up. Looking forward to that?
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to play CLG. Last time we played against them, it was like, we felt like we got out split pushed by Fiora, and I felt like we deserved that win. So I don't think they're that strong. Like, I think they play really well as like a team as 5, but individually, I think we can outclass them, I guess. Yeah, so I'm really excited for that match.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to see that. So I actually want to talk to you a little bit more about your team play. Obviously, the team, we talked a lot about it during the first few weeks. They really lacked decisive leadership, a hard go-in sort of player. Well, you've been playing Hecarim and Olaf. Got any insight into that?
Yeah, like, when teams start off, like, the biggest struggle most of the time is engage. So, like, normally I play champs like Kindred, Rek'Sai, but I was just like, what's the best way to engage Hecarim? So it'd probably give us our team like the best chance in engaging. But I think we're really good now, and we don't even rely on that stuff too much.
All righty. Well, thank you so much, Inori. Congratulations on the victory. We're going to go ahead and toss it to the analyst desk to break that down.
Thank you very much, Dom. Phoenix One picking up their second victory of the split here. Really interesting perspective there to hear from Inori, the fact that they're kind of looking at the second half of the split as its own split in and of itself. So, you know, in a sense, erasing the previous troubles that they had from their minds, saying this is a new start for us. Let's see what we can do in the back half of this split.
I actually think it's a really interesting mindset, considering that most teams had a preseason where they're like boot camping in Korea or something, or at least practicing as a team, whereas P1 was really last minute put together. And so they didn't have a preseason, and then the roster that they put together isn't even the one they initially really wanted.
Right.
And so it really is fair to look at the first half of the season as your form of preseason, and now moving to the second half, it's the team you actually want with some practice now. And I think I initially said after, you know, a couple last week when they got their first win that I think they aren't actually like the bottom team anymore, and they can actually maybe make a push. And here they do the first step to proving that.
Exactly, and Inori has been a big part of that, Dyrus. I mean, we talk about roster swaps sometimes being the so important to a team finally coming to fruition. But here we've seen, as the weeks have gone on with Inori in, they seem to have a little bit more of a clue, to use a crude word to describe it, in their early game, just because he seemed to have a little bit better of an idea, as opposed to Sentinel, who preceded him, where to be on the map and to be able to match early aggression from other teams and keep them in it longer.
Right, and I've seen Inori in solo queue a lot in the past, so he's definitely a really good player. Probably really good team synergy for the team, and you know, it's never really too late to start, because if you never start, how are you going to get anywhere? You want to avoid relegation.
Exactly, and step one was today beating Echo Fox. They're now no longer in 10th place. They've got that game separation above Echo Fox. Of course, they are even in that head-to-head, so they're going to need to be able to keep that game separation if they want to avoid tiebreakers near the end of the split. But a very good start for them, and let's dive into this third game and break this one down. Champion Slight, I know that you felt very good about Phoenix One's draft here in Game 3.
Well, they basically get the exact same comp that they had before, but I like the order in which they do it, where they, Echo Fox doesn't really attack the draft that they just lost to. Like, none of their bans really target it, so they know that they can get the Hecarim again, the Azir, the Ashe, so you can get parts of it.
Talk about why do they get Azir? Why do they get Azir?
Yeah, because Froggen doesn't really prioritize it. He's played it one game where it was Vladimir that was early picked by the other team, and he last picks the Azir. Like, I guess I'll take this one.
Right.
It's really not a priority for Fox, so I think P1 knows that, and they early take the Ashe before everything else. And It looks like Fox is prioritizing Soraka over Braum now, so they think they can get the Braum as well, and the only thing they really need to give up is the Rek'Sai, which they're fine with because they're going to take the Hecarim again. And so I think it was a pretty intelligent draft from P1 to kind of like raise the priority on Ashe super high, but just for this series.
I mean, that's a cool adjustment that I think is specific to best of series, and the fact that we are playing best of series in the regular season kind of gives our teams the opportunities to flex those champion select muscles when it comes to looking towards playoffs. I mean, I'm sure you could speak to it, Dyrus, the difference between playing best of ones all split and then jumping into best of 5 series and learning how to adjust your drafts. That could be very jarring. Here, they're getting the opportunity to do it week after week and learn how to adjust drafts specific to just the team you're playing against.
Right, because if we saw a best of one, we would have just saw Echo Fox just win the first game.
Yep.
But you could see that P1 made those adjustments as Mark perfectly described, and that is what makes teams better.
Exactly, and we'll see if they can continue to do that moving into playoffs. I want to dive into the game itself. 14 minutes into the game, 1-for-0 for Phoenix 1 on a turret dive here. So them, again, making more decisive early plays. We see them, you know, coming out on top of a few more of these dives than they were in the past.
And this is kind of the strength of the comp that also exists in game 2, where it just can close a ton of distance so quickly. Ashe is still in river when she initiates that fight, and Hecarim's coming flying up the mid lane. He's able to follow up on that engage despite being so far away.
Right.
And the fact that they got the comp two times in a row, was very surprising in a sense, though Echo Fox did draft differently, a little bit more standard, no Talia and things like that.
No Talia, no disappointing Talia game. You know, of course, we move a little further into the game. We saw the Baron take by Phoenix 1. It was kind of given over to them. It was a very interesting, you know, oh, no one's around, let's just take it. So
Yeah.
they picked that up, and we move ourselves forward.
kind of Baron.
Yeah, right? It was like, I guess, wait, no one's going to stop us? All right, we'll keep going.
The 0-for-0 Baron.
Yeah, for sure. But I do want to take a look at the game-winning fight just to roll that one out, put a capper on our 3-game series here that Phoenix 1 took the victory in.
Right, so the Baron had come back up, and P1 was posturing around it, trying to fight for vision control, and they're just able to get a good flank onto Froggen here, who goes down, and the Zersec from Pier in there was sick. He got 2 people, and from there, the game's over. I mean, they already had broken the inhibitor mid lane prior to that, so it was just a matter of grabbing that creep wave that was pretty much already there and pushing it through the game.
I want to look well, actually, let's hit player of the game first. We'll hit player of the game first. We got to give it to Mash 404 on the Ashe. Forced plenty of summoner spells using great arrows. I mean, we saw a successful arrow there on the turret dive. Even the ones that were missing, they were forcing summoner spells. So playing that utility carry to its fullest.
There was actually a time where Ashe's Hawk shot was shot towards Froggen in the bot lane, and what that did was it aggroed the creeps, which allowed his teammates to kill Froggen, and I've never seen a kill like that before, so it was really, really funny, really, really well played, and really well used Hawk shot.
Yeah, the unassisted assist where he just provided vision at the right time after a Froggen solo kill. It's just like, oh.
Right, yeah, you don't actually get the gold for that assist, but you did effectively help your teammates pick up that kill. So with that, he gets player of the game. But now I want to talk about Phoenix 1 real briefly looking forward. As Dom mentioned in the interview, they're playing CLG next. It's a struggling CLG. I know that in the back of everyone's heads, they're saying, well, but the day that CLG turns it back on, they're going to be a very strong team again. How does this, you know, surging might be too powerful of a word for Phoenix 1. How does this, you know, improving Phoenix 1 match up against CLG in their next series?
Well, I think for me, it's a good test because P1 is clearly, for a little while, it was like P1's the worst team, then there's the other bottom teams. And here they've at least joined into that kind of bottom tier and maybe even gone a little bit past it.
Yeah.
And CLG is kind of, right now, the guardians of the bottom tier where they're struggling against a lot of top teams, but clearly beating the bottom ones. So depending on how Phoenix 1 looks against them, we'll have a better idea of, are they just more even with these other teams now, or are they actually starting to surpass them?
I think what it really is for CLG is that they're still pretty up there, but because of the vacation they took, they're in a slight slump where it isn't because they've gotten worse, it's just that every other team's improving so drastically with the meta that they can't catch up as fast because those other teams put a lot more time into Korean boot camp or training or whatever that may have happened for preparation, and now they're just trying their best to catch up while still being one of the better teams.
Looking forward to that matchup tomorrow. Now, real quick, we're going to toss you to some bonus coverage of NALCS 1. Team Liquid and Immortals locked into game 1 of their series. Immortals out to an early lead, about 4K, 20 minutes in. We would expect no less out of them. Let's take a look.
able to siege anymore. They've got no minions left. They've got no health bars.
The
2
last
for 0.
minion goes down there, and Immortals are going to be able to hold on to their turrets, but still, another couple kills here for Team Liquid. Doing a lot for team morale. It's still not enough to get them back in this game, but it should be enough for them to at least try and get some ward control on their own side of the map at the very least.
And it's going to be the hope right now for Liquid because they've been on the back foot the entire time here. And it's always unfortunate when you see a team win a team fight like 2 for 0, 2 for 1, and then nothing good actually happens for them afterwards because of how much damage is dealt back.
Yeah, and the gangplank here, Huni constantly coming in from the sides, barrel chains, not only taking out a significant amount of health from Team Liquid, but also destroying the minion waves so they can't pressure any objectives afterwards.
Right, you've got Sivir, this gangplank, and even Zillion's not completely terrible at it. It's honestly just hard to push. Fabi wasn't really watching, and now comes the wrist, manages to juke away from the stun, but here comes the Zillion. The double bomb not quite gonna land, but the knockup is there for Rainover. That's gonna mean the kill pretty easily. Couple of ultis and a teleport burn, but still, the champion is dead, and Immortals have a power play.
This is what the top teams are doing so well right now.
And a smite steal.
Constant cross-map plays. Rainover's just gonna... That is the worst feeling. Your own wolf spirit trailing you around, reminding you, hey, he just stole your camp. Hey, he just stole your camp. It's
Exclamation point. Hey,
hey,
this is theirs.
listen, hey, listen.
Smite better. Press D to smite, Dardoch. It's in your name. Let's go.
Wasn't actually checking if he had it up there.
Except now, though. You just got to pretend it was always his fault. Ward's being cleared away. Much to the sadness of the fans here in this audience, as you can tell.
Oh, get it.
Yep.
Talked about those animation canceling skills from Dardoch.
What a madman.
Oh, man.
He pressed E against an immobile unit.
Whew. Uh-oh, Phoenix is on the chase here with Fobelter.
What a legend.
Yep.
Fobelter
Taught him a lesson.
Yep. Hey, here's some damage. You should pace yourself and get away. Okay.
So that lead extending to about 5K as we saw the pickoff on Fabi in the top lane there, but kind of hovering around that 5K gold lead. That's a place where Immortals is very comfortable to rest. I feel like it never even takes more than that for them to kind of have the green light to make crazy turret dives and really press their advantages in games.
Yeah, they often end up in this kind of like, we're ahead, in any moment we're going to blow this game open, and that's kind of where it feels right now. The kills are actually pretty equal, but they're a little ahead in objectives, and especially farm with GP getting the extra gold, and him being up so far ahead of Lorlo was a huge part of that lead.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be one of the key factors in IMT winning a lot faster because GP is just so strong. Like, he almost has IE in that game. So
I want to toss this to commercial, but just a curiosity. Why is GP still getting picked up since the crit was taken off of Triforce?
So when you play GP, it isn't really about doing the crit build, but you can do the armor pen build.
Gotcha.
There's IE, Yomu's. Sometimes you go Maul against AP. You go Mortal Reminder or Giant Killer. Just mostly all the armor pen you can find, get up to 40% CDR or 45 depending on your mastery, and just like put as much damage into it, because no matter what you do, if you hit that squishy, they're gonna get chunked. If you get that 20% crit chance, it's hilarious.
All right, okay, so it's just kind of readjusting the focus of the damage a little bit, but still very applicable. All right, well, now we've got that. That's still taking place over on NALCS 1. Remember, that's game 1 of that series. We're finished with the series over here on NALCS 2, but there's, of course, one more to go. Rejoin us on the other side of the break for our second match, Envy versus Counterlogic Gaming. We'll see you soon.
Wow, so many fans for you, Pyrian. Your play is so many
fans.
I love you,
You are the Bjergsen of P1.
For the faker P1.
Hey,
We just
guys.
call it faker from now on.
Faker's overrated.
True being proactive. We'll see if they can.
Oh, Froggen! Arrow to the face, he got baited in, Pyrian on low, and Inori's gonna try and take him out. Looks like the first blood does go to Gate. Gate, damage is still there, looking for the last snipe on Pyrian, but they're gonna protect him.
I love you, man. Hold my hand.
Yeah, no flash. Cats, no flash.
Nice.
I can't push in. I can't push in. I can't push in. Striker. Good job, guys. Front line. Hold me. Nice.
Finish. GG.
And that is game. Phoenix 1 will take it 2-1 versus Echo Fox.